Good morning. Our goal today is to reinforce our ability to find compound probability. We've been working with probability for about a week now. Compound probability is a little more complicated. We did it for the last couple days in class, and that involved finding the probability of more than one event happening at the same time. Maybe flipping a coin and spinning a spinner, picking a card and rolling a die, or maybe even rolling a die and picking a marble out of a bag. Let's do a quick recap of regular probability just to refresh our memories. If we roll a die, we have a sample space or a list of our possible outcomes of rolling a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. The probability of rolling a 3 can be found by finding how many 3s there are. There's just one, out of how many possible options there are total, of which there are 6. So the probability of rolling a 3 is 1 out of 6. Something a little different would be finding the probability of rolling an odd number. Well, I have the number 1, the number 3, and the number 5. Those are all odd numbers. So I have 3 possibilities out of 6 total. So the probability of choosing an odd number is 3 out of 6. You may also reduce that to 1 out of 2. So let's look at compound probability. Again, compound probability is putting 2 events together. And in order to make our sample space, we used a chart to help ourselves out. So here's a sample chart for us. This is a sample space chart for rolling a number cube, where you can land on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, or flipping a coin, which can result in either heads or tails. Since the number cube has 6 possible outcomes, and flipping a coin has 2 possible outcomes, we should have 12 possible outcomes for this compound situation. Let's fill out our chart. We're going to fill out this chart exactly as we'd fill out a multiplication chart. I'm going to look horizontally and vertically to fill out this box. So I could flip that coin and land on heads, and then roll a 1, land on heads and then roll a 2, land on heads and roll a 3, land on heads and roll a 4, land on heads and roll a 5, or land on heads and roll a 6. I could also land on tails and roll a 1, land on tails and roll a 2, tails and a 3, tails and a 4, tails and a 5, or finally land on tails and roll a 6. So again, just as we expected, there are 12 possible outcomes here. Let's do an example problem. How about we find the probability of landing on tails and also rolling a 4? Well, the only place that happens is right here. So that is 1 possibility out of 12 total outcomes. So that would be our compound probability. Something a little more complicated is the probability of landing on heads and rolling a not 4. Let's think about this. Here's my row of heads. Let's pick everything that is not a 4. Well, that's not a 4, and 2 is not a 4, 1 is not a 4, 5 is not a 4, neither is 6. I'm going to erase this last one down here that's not included. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 possibilities out of 12 total outcomes to flip that coin and land on heads and get not a 4. Let's look at what you're going to be doing today. You will be doing a worksheet all about compound probability. As you finish this worksheet, you'll be answering the question, what did the police put on a bad pig? The instructions read, cross out the box containing each correct answer. If an answer appears more than once, it doesn't matter which one you cross out, so don't cross them out twice, just once. When you finish, write the letters from the remaining boxes in the spaces at the bottom of the page. Let's look at this first question. It says, find each probability if you spin both spinners. All right, I've got one spinner here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. 2 that are striped, 2 that are not striped, and 1 that is white. And I have another spinner with 3 sections, 1 that has A and 2 that have B. Let's go fill out our charts for this. You should have a worksheet that's separate from the riddle worksheet that just has charts for your sample spaces. Make sure you have that out and make sure you have something to write with so you can follow along with me. Here's our chart for that particular problem. Along the horizontal, I have the white space, the 2 not striped spaces, and the 2 striped spaces on our first spinner. And going on the vertical axis, I have the A space and the 2 B spaces. So I can spin and land on white, and then land on A. Spin and land on a not striped space, and land on A. A not striped space again, and A striped space this time, or A, or the other striped space, and A. Let's do the second row. I can again spin and land on white, but then land on B, the not striped space, and B, the other not striped space, and B, the striped space in B, or the second striped space in B. And lastly, I can spin and land on the white space in B, the not striped space in B, the not striped space again in B, striped space in B, or striped space in B again. In total, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 possible outcomes, which makes sense because I have 5 on my first spinner and 3 on my second, and 5 times 3 is 15. Let's take a look at our second problem. It says find each probability if you spin the spinner and roll the number cube. We have a spinner with 4 options, red, blue, another red, and yellow, and a number cube with 6 options. So how many total possible outcomes could we have with a spinner with 4 outcomes and a number cube with 6? If you're thinking 24, you're right, because 4 times 6 is 24. Let's go and fill out our chart. We could spin and land on red, and then roll a 1, land on red, and then roll a 2, land on red and roll a 3, land on red and roll a 4, red and then 5, or red and then 6. I'm going to jump down and fill out the bottom yellow row. We could land on yellow and roll a 1, yellow and roll a 2, yellow and roll a 3, yellow and roll a 4, yellow and roll a 5, or yellow and roll a 6. I'm going to stop there and let you finish this off after the video is over. Let's take a look at this last problem. It's a little bit different. Problem 3 says, find each probability if you pick one marble, replace it, and then pick a second marble. If you notice here, we only have one bag of marbles. It might seem like this isn't compound probability, but since we're picking a marble twice, it is. We're going to pick one marble out of these 6, put it back, and then pick again. So really, I have 2 different events happening, both with a bag of 6 marbles. In this bag, I've got 1 black, 2 white, and 3 striped marbles. Let's go back to our chart and start to fill this out. Here's our chart, and you can see that along the vertical I've got the one black marble. Sorry, this is the horizontal. One black marble, two whites, and three striped marbles. And I have the exact same thing down the vertical axis because I'm going to be using the exact same bag. So I could pick the black marble and then a black marble again. I could pick the black marble and then a white one, the black marble and then a white one, the black marble and a striped one, black and the other striped, or black and the last striped. Looking horizontally again in the second row, I could pick the white marble and then a black one, white and then white, white and then white again, white and then striped, white and then striped, or white and then striped. Let's keep going. In the third row, in this third row with white, I could pick white and then black. Sorry. White and then black. Oops, excuse me, I made a mistake. Not white and then black. This column is white and white. Horizontally, we have picking a white, and vertically a white. Same thing for this third box. The fourth is white and then striped. White and striped again. White and striped lastly. In the fourth row down, we could pick the striped marble and then a black one, the striped marble, then a white one, striped and then white again, striped and striped, striped and striped, and striped and striped. And the other two rows will be the exact same as the one we just did. Striped and black, striped and white, striped and white, striped and striped, striped and striped, striped and striped, and finally striped and black, striped and white, striped and white, striped and striped, striped and striped, and striped and striped. That's a lot of possibilities. So when you go to do these problems, look very carefully. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 possibilities in that bag. We're picking twice, so 6 times 6. We have a total of 36 outcomes here. Be sure to try your best on this worksheet. Take your time. If you do not finish today, make sure you put it back in your folder.